20% of the league are free agents. Like, everyone timed their contracts. Everybody signed one-year deals, and everyone timed their contracts to coincide with this new CBA. So literally, there's not even really any teams. There's only like 20% of the league.
Ladies and gentlemen, pause whatever you're doing for a moment, because what just came out on national television is nothing short of unbelievable. We've been breaking down this WNBA collective bargaining mess for weeks now, talking about the tension, the egos, the internal clashes, but then Ramona Shelburne went on the Rich Eisen show and completely blew the lid off. What she revealed takes this situation to a whole new level. This isn't just a disagreement over contracts anymore. It feels like the entire league is being pushed into a corner. Right now, around 80% of WNBA players don't even have active contracts. Think about that for a second. The majority of professional players in the league are effectively unsigned. And this didn't just happen randomly. This was planned. Players aligned their contract expirations on purpose to pressure team owners, creating a scenario where the league doesn't even have enough signed athletes to reliably stage games. It's a calculated standoff, and it's dragging the sport toward a breaking point. What might have once seemed like awkward PR moments now looks minor compared to the chaos behind the curtain. According to Shelburne, the union encouraged players to take short-term deals last season, telling them to hold out for a bigger financial wave tied to rising popularity and new revenue. The idea was simple: wait it out, then all cash in together. But strategies like that come with risks. At some point, someone has to give in, and right now, neither side is backing down. Meanwhile, the league is trying to expand, with new teams in Toronto and Portland ready to enter the picture. Yet unbelievably, those teams don't even have rosters. The expansion draft, usually a milestone moment, can't even happen without a finalized agreement. You can't bring in players when there's no clear salary structure, no defined cap, no system in place. The entire league framework is stuck in limbo because both sides are waiting for the other to move. And then comes the most telling detail of all. The WNBA recently released its regular season schedule. On the surface, it might look like everything is moving forward as planned, but don't be fooled. That schedule wasn't a sign of confidence. It was a signal of pressure. Shelburne described it as the league blinking first. A move made not from strength but from urgency.
We're getting close here, Rich. I mean, I thought it was interesting the league put out a schedule, because one of the pressure points I had been hearing was literally arena dates. You know how this goes. Like, if you don't have your dates on the schedule, they give them away to some concert. They give them away to some circus that comes to town, or they give them away to anybody else who wants to use the arena. Arenas cannot have open dates. And if you want those open dates, you gotta lock those in. So the league went forward with the idea of let's do the schedule, even though we don't even know who's on what team. And I thought that was a blink.
Did you catch this? The WNBA reportedly had to roll out a provisional schedule for teams that don't even have finalized rosters yet, just to make sure their arenas didn't get snapped up by circus acts or monster truck events. Sounds unbelievable, but it's very real. This is supposed to be the top-tier women's basketball league in the world, the home of stars like Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu. Yet it's still battling for venue space against traveling entertainment shows. Meanwhile, labor tensions are rising as the players' union, led by figures like Breanna Stewart and Nneka Ogwumike, pushes for a cut nearing 30% of total league revenue. Even though the league has struggled financially for decades, that pressure forced owners into rushing out a schedule just to secure bookings and maintain operations. Starting to look chaotic. The players want NBA-level treatment, charter flights, bigger salaries, premium conditions, but NBA franchises don't have to worry about losing their arenas to outside events over scheduling uncertainty. This is what happens when expectations grow faster than the business itself. The demand is for elite-level recognition, but the financial foundation hasn't caught up yet. And that leads to the real issue at the center of it all. As veteran broadcaster Rich Eisen pointed out, cutting through all the noise, there's one core reason the spotlight is suddenly shining.
I don't mean to be flippant, but again, there's a golden goose that's getting more valuable here. And, and stars, I mean, Juju Watkins is going to be healthy. Like, this is rubber meeting the road here.
The golden goose, that's exactly what Caitlin Clark is. And Rich Eisen said it perfectly. He understands that the union is playing an incredibly dangerous game with the most valuable asset this league has ever seen. This golden goose is becoming more valuable by the day, yet the WNBA players are acting like they're willing to choke it out. Do they not understand how fragile this moment really is? Clark didn't just show up. She brought millions of new eyes to the sport. She filled arenas, drove record-breaking viewership, and helped spark major television deals. But here's the reality. Those fans aren't loyal to the WNBA brand, they're loyal to her. If the WNBA forces a lockout, if May arrives and Clark isn't on the court launching logo threes, those fans won't wait around. They'll shift their attention to the NBA playoffs or something else entirely. Casual sports fans don't sit idle, they move on. And once they're gone, getting them back is nearly impossible. Yet union leadership seems convinced the audience will patiently wait while they argue over revenue splits. That's not how entertainment works. The window for cultural relevance is narrow. Right now the WNBA is hot, but shut it down and that heat disappears fast. What makes this worse is the mindset coming from some veteran players. You've got athletes who've spent a decade in the league without generating real profit now claiming they built the game. There's a disconnect here. One fueled by ego, jealousy, and miscalculation. The 80% free agency situation is being used as leverage, but in reality, it's putting Clark's second season, and the league's momentum, at risk. Look at the timeline. As Ramona Shelburne pointed out, March is the breaking point. And that's where we are. Within weeks, the league must finalize the salary cap, organize expansion drafts for 2 new cities, negotiate contracts for the majority of players, conduct the draft, and open training camps. That's months of work compressed into days. Even if a deal gets done immediately, the fallout will be chaotic. Free agency will turn into a frenzy, with players scrambling for limited roster spots all at once. Teams will be thrown together overnight, chemistry will suffer, and the on-court product in May will reflect that disorder. Meanwhile, leadership figures like Nneka Agwamike, Breanna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier are steering the direction. These are established stars with financial security, endorsements, overseas contracts, and alternative income streams. They can afford a delay. But what about the players on the edge of the roster? The rookies? The ones whose entire livelihood depends on a minimum contract? For them, this isn't a strategy. It's a gamble with everything on the line. The leadership appears out of touch with the realities faced by the majority of its members. Even Adam Silver sees the warning signs. He knows what's at stake. If this drags into a lockout, the consequences could be severe. Major partners like Disney, Amazon, and NBC aren't going to commit massive deals to a league that can't guarantee stability. Those agreements come with escape clauses, and if triggered, the financial fallout could be devastating. The players believe they're negotiating for a bigger share, but in reality, they risk shrinking the entire pie. This situation is turning into a case study in how to fumble momentum. The WNBA was handed a rare opportunity with Clark, a once-in-a-generation spark. All that was needed was stability, cooperation, and execution. Instead, internal conflict has taken center stage. Veteran players, unwilling to accept a system influenced by a rising star, have pushed aggressively, trying to assert control. But in doing so, they've created uncertainty, strained negotiations, and damaged the league's public image. Fans should prepare for a difficult outcome. A delayed season, or worse, is no longer unthinkable. The tone from both sides isn't softening, it's escalating. Ownership, supported by Silver, won't agree to terms that threaten long-term viability. What we're witnessing is a collision between ambition and economic reality. If this season collapses, the fallout will be clear. It won't fall on Clark, and it won't fall on the fans. It will stem from leadership decisions that prioritize leverage over longevity. The golden goose is right there, ready to deliver something special. But instead of protecting it, the situation feels like it's being pushed to the brink. The schedules are uncertain, rosters uncertain.